On top of a hill stands this castle, which dates back to the 18th century. Throughout its history, it was home to several noble families. For hundreds of years, knights and barons occupied the chambers of this enormous fortress. Originally surrounded by a moat and a drawbridge, of which there is no trace left today. Walking through the hallways, we are amazed by the ostentation of its chambers, each one more luxurious than the last. No, just like the attic. It was the home of the servants, with its old bathroom frozen in time. This castle, like so many others in this part of France, has been neglected due to the staggering cost of maintaining a structure that's over 900 years old. On my second visit to the castle, we were almost caught by the heirs, because they showed up in a van and entered the castle while we were exploring it. The castle's immense size allowed us to escape unseen through a window. Because we were curious about why they had come, we stayed crouched nearby. They began removing furniture and objects, loading them into the van. Whether it was to sell them or simply to save them from the looting that the castle has suffered over the years. A property like this is very exposed to thieves. Join me as I tour this impressive castle. Well, this would be the main entrance to this incredible castle. Notice that the jackets are still hanging on the coat rack. A coat rack. Carved, and there, if you look closely, those are probably the family's initials. And look at this really cool stone fountain that they would fill from the top. And I'm going to show you the main stairs, which would be these right here, but we'll leave that for later. Let's go through first the right side and look at the amazing library they have here. With the French flags over there. Oh, look, the staircase. To get the books from the very top, it was a case for the pipe. And this is overflowing with books, really overflowing. The number of books here. There are probably many important books among this whole collection. Important. I mean books of great value, or that are rare to find, and I love the ladder so I can reach the books on the top shelves. And with wheels to move it all around the room. And this is a stone Jesus Christ, but it's broken. And this candelabrum? I've never seen one like it. Well, we're done with this room, so let's keep going because it's really big. This castle has a lot of interesting things. And this room is incredible. It's amazing to find places like this. Look at that chair. Well, the armchair, a real armchair, and very used, it seems. It has the marks from the head. Look at that little table. Let's see if there's anything inside. It's completely empty. They're fossils. I would collect fossils too. Look at this one, how strange. Wow. The amount of detail we can find here. Our shields. And this one was probably one of those who lived in the castle. 1880, it says on top. They're photographs in a photo album. The photos show castles, towers, and churches. Looking at photos of airplanes, here you can see it much more clearly. And photos of landscapes. This would be the place where they would probably gather to spend the afternoons and mornings having tea and chatting. Incredible days. What furniture and what chairs. So beautiful, right? Oh, here we have more French flags. And over there we have another one. But that one isn't from France. A nun, and the fireplace with the mirror above it, and the candelabras, also incredible. And all this part here is made of marble. Let's move on to another room. Okay, here we have a room. Look, you're going to be amazed by this room. So much detail. Wow. Beautiful. Worthy of a castle like the one we're in. And here's another fossil. This one looks like a native clam. Most of them are related to France. France. I would really like the history of your country. The built-in bed there, I love it. The entire house is packed full with books. Back in the old days, reading was the main activity. Wow, look, this book is super old. It's even scary to open it, and the cover is falling apart. Wow, look, this photograph on her wedding day with the veil in the wind, and there's something very special about it. Let's check if I'm in these photos too, since I've seen old wedding photos before. And nobody smiles. I don't know if it was because back then people didn't smile in photos. Look, the groom is smiling, but nobody else is smiling. How curious. Well, let's see more parts of the castle. Let's go to the other wing that we skipped at the beginning, since there was a left and a right. Let's go to the left side and let's see this room here, which is the dining room and the kitchen. It's also amazing. You can tell we're in a castle, and this piece of furniture is incredible. I mean, they must have made it to measure and assembled it in this room, because there's no way they could have brought it in. They had to bring the pieces and assemble it in here. This piece of furniture is impressive. Look at the missing piece from Leon's head, which would be up there, well, the lion's mouth. Look at what we have hanging here. Some kind of tunic. And all this is made of metal. It's like a real cape. They had a bunch of plates hanging on the wall. Decoration style. Can you tell how used this piece of furniture has been? All the marks on the door and absolutely everything in its place. And wow, and all the photos that are left up here. Other boyfriends? Wow, look what's here. It's a wild boar snout. Lourdes Journal, 1928. And we also have all the tableware in place. There are people who would gather here to eat. The dining room is really cool. Look at all the carving on this little table. Alright, let's go. To the part I think it is, where the kitchen was? I think so. Let's take a look. Yes, here's the kitchen. There are a lot of things in the way. It's a bit messy. Oh, look at the marks from the pans they must have put up there. That magazine is from 2012. Well, and this here was the kitchen. And now we're going to go upstairs. We're going up to the first floor, where most of the rooms, the bedrooms, are. Look, what I overlooked is a light switch for the dining room, and you could adjust the brightness of the light. And now, let's go upstairs. Family of. And the last heirs. Let's start walking through the halls of the castle. Wow, here we already have the first room. The floors are in pretty bad shape. Up here they're really warped and creak a lot. Look at that painting. He looks like a king. Well, he has a king's crown and the bathroom. Quite modest compared to the rest of the house. Honestly, like the one any of us could have in our own home. I hadn't noticed the table, and it has some metal inlays, some of which have already come off. But all of this here is metal inlays. Here you can see it more clearly. All of this here is metal. What a beautiful table. Just like that over there. Here's another room where everything is piled up. We have photographs veil. And with what's behind me, I've been amazed by this room. Look, now this is a room, a real presidential suite, whatever you want to call it. Incredible. A true work of art. This bed. Oh my god. Let's see if it focuses. Here we have a trunk, but it's probably empty and we continue with the details of the bed. And honestly, it really impressed me. And there we have a sewing machine, which we're going to go see. A singer in perfect condition. Even with a lamp accessory, which until today, I had never seen one with a lamp. I had seen this model before, the same one, but with the lamp. Never. Ah, and this one. This one is definitely different from the ones I've seen. It was electric. The ones of this model that I've seen were pedal powered, not electric. Alright, let's keep going. From here you can see a little bit of the outside of the castle. That over there is the wall to go down, and that door Where does it go? Wow, we hadn't seen these stairs. Let's see, and it goes up quite a bit. We thought we had already seen everything in the castle before we started recording. Okay, and we also have another hallway behind us. It's like a small chapel, and look at the cradle. Incredible. It's a small altar. How beautiful. The beautiful cradle. It's made of steel, but all this part here is made of rope. Look, and from here we can see the pool they had, completely filled with dirty water. Are these mittens for some kid for the winter? Let's keep going and see. What other details we can find around here? We still have the other part of the hallway we found, which is over there at the end, and we haven't seen that part either. Or I thought I wasn't going to find anything else in this hallway. But look, what a room. It was like the room for bathing. But I'm not sure this was for the owners of the castle, but rather for all the rooms we've been seeing. Since they're so tiny, I think they were for the people who worked for them. And here they would have their toilet, a dry toilet. And to take a shower. But this part here, I think it was for those who worked for them. And there's the jug to fill up, the bathtub to take a shower, and the basin. Incredible. And all these rooms here that we've been looking at, but they're all empty. I imagine they were for the workers of the castle, the servants. Like this one here, which is empty, and there are no things inside. In the past, it was probably a room. Just like this one. And the stairs are kind of hidden. So they wouldn't be too visible, and they were narrow. We've already seen that the others were very wide. And we're going to continue. On the right side, we still need to see this part. The hallway and everything else is a mess, with things scattered around. There are a lot of things here in the middle, but the rooms are still incredibly well preserved. I'm convinced that the part we just saw belonged to the staff of the castle of the servants, probably because look at these rooms. The ceilings are so high, while the other rooms were really tiny. And the ceilings were very low. Is it a drawing? Yes, is it? Does it look like a charcoal drawing? And another religious object. And we also have a cross. There are many religious objects in the castle. And here is the Holy Bible. Look at this cool photograph. At some big event from that time. '19, 1935, could it be? Inauguration? Were they at the inauguration of something? And look, that also seems to be done in charcoal. What a realistic painting. It was probably drawn by the same person who drew the other one we found on the table. As you can see, this here is a complete mess. We've gone through all this mess and made it here. And we have another really cool room. This one has quite a few things in the middle here, but well, the whole right side is really well preserved. Looking at another painting of some king. Louis VI. I'm already seeing more crosses. Wow. At least. Every time, I'm more surprised by everything we find. The bookstore in the back, with Jesus Christ there. This bed is impressive. What an amazing place, and all the furniture and things in this castle are so beautiful. But here the floor creaks a lot when you walk. It's just that, structurally, I think there are quite a few flaws here, because look at the crack. That's on the wall. But the bed is beautiful. And wow, I'm sad to leave this room behind, but we have to move on. Let's see what else we still have to see in the castle, because right now I can't remember what else we have left to see, because it's gigantic. I'm unsure if we're finished or if there's more remaining. Well, guys, that's right. There was nothing else left to see. The place is massive. I've checked, and there's nothing left for me to see. I've already shown you everything. I hope you enjoyed the video. Visiting this place was like going back in time for me. 100 years. If you enjoyed it, give it a like, and I'll see you at the next place. See you soon.